If you have been looking for a good smart cutting machine that may have the capabilities and speed, that is also able to keep up with your creative demands that you may need and more, and also may be within your price range, this brief video review is for you. Also, if you happen to be a first-timer and have been looking for a machine that you may be able to set up quickly and also provide the results that you may want and more for a price that is affordable to you, this brief video review is for you as well. This brief video will be a brief review of the Featured Cricut Maker 3 Smart Cutting Machine. There are links provided at the bottom, in the description of this featured video, that will take you to the official page that you see on your screen here. If at any time, you would like to visit the official page that you see on your screen for yourself and take a look at the information more in depth, or if you would just like to follow along with us on your own, all that you have to do is just click on the links provided below, to be taken to the official page, for the Featured Cricut Maker 3 Smart Cutting Machine. Now, there is much information on the page that you see on your screen. In this brief video, we will go over and touch on the points and portions of the page that we feel will be of most interest to you. So, one of the main points that we want to briefly go over here, which is one of the main reasons we wanted to do this particular review, is that currently, out of a 5-star rating, the Featured Cricut Maker 3 currently is getting a 4.6 out of a 5-star rating, which we feel is a pretty nice rating. And as you can briefly see here, that out of what is currently 121 actual customers that have rated it, most were satisfied and gave a 4 to 5-star rating. And we feel that you should really look into the ratings for yourself by clicking on the links that are provided below in the description. And what really caught our attention about the Featured Cricut Maker 3 is that currently 85% of the customers actually give it a 5-star rating, which we feel is outstanding, and as something is to consider, and should give you a pretty good idea of how most of the customers feel it is worth it or not. Please note that from our research of the actual customer reviews, some have said that they like the compatibility of it, and what was mentioned the most was the speed, quickness, and quietness of it as well. Also now, as we briefly scroll over the portion of the page that shows the look and design of the Featured Cricut Maker 3. And you can briefly see here, the look of it, how it looks when it is closed. How the insides of the machine look as well. Also, how it looks when in operation. Now, let's just briefly take a look at what are said to be the steps to operate the machine here. And as you can briefly see here, it is said that number 1, you pick a project, or design one from scratch. Number 2, let the machine cut and write for you. And number 3, it is said that you just put it together, and you are said to be done after that. Also, as you can briefly see here, there are other videos to choose from and watch as well. Just take a look, as we briefly scroll through this portion of the official page here. Once again, be sure to click on the links below in the video description to take a more in-depth look at all of the information for yourself. So now, what we will briefly touch on and go over in this portion of our brief video, will be some of the details of the Featured Cricut Maker 3. And as you can see here, it is said to have the ability to help you to create faster, and you can briefly take a look at some of the details of this here, as we scroll. You can see here, that it is said to be smart material compatible, and you can take a look at some of the descriptions of this here as well. It says here, that it is said to have good versatility and performance, and you can briefly take a look at some of the details of this point as we briefly scroll. And also here, where it says getting started, and you can see the details of what the featured machine is said to come with and more of the details here as well. Just briefly take a look here, as we briefly scroll through this portion of the official page here. Once again, be sure to click on the links below in the video description to take a more in-depth look at all of the information for yourself. Now, in this portion of our brief video, we love to briefly touch on the portion of the page that compares the Featured Cricut Maker 3 with smart cutters and items that are said to be similar. And as you can briefly see here, is that with a current 4.6 out of 5-star rating, the featured smart cutting machine holds its own among the ones that are featured here. And with that being said, just briefly check here, as we briefly scroll through this portion of the page, at the ratings as they compare with each other. Also, we don't want to forget what we feel is one of the main points of the page, which is the customer questions and answers portion of the page here. And you can briefly take a look at some of the questions and concerns that customers have, and how these concerns are addressed as well. And also here, you can see that there are some customer reviews that have images and more featured here, in this portion of the page as well. Just briefly take a look here as we briefly scroll through this portion of the official page. Once again, be sure to click on the links below in the video description to take a more in-depth look at all of the information for yourself. Now, make sure that when you get to the official webpage that you see on your screen by clicking on the links below in the video description, that you pay particular attention to all of the information that is presented on the page, to give you a better idea of what the Featured Cricut Maker 3 may be able to do for you, and how you may be able to benefit from it as well. Also, make sure that you pay particular attention to the current ratings and reviews from actual customers, and you can also click on these to take a more in-depth look at all of them as well, when you get to the official page that you see here on your screen. Once again, we would like to thank you for watching our brief video review. If you have found that the information presented here in this video was helpful and insightful to you, be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Remember to click on the links below in the video description to go to the official webpage that you have seen on the screen in this video to get more information and see more, if you decide to choose the Featured Cricut Maker 3 Smart Cutting Machine.